The rain felt like tiny needles on my skin. It matched the pricks of anger inside me. Every drop on the window pane was a reminder of Leo, his smile, his lies, his betrayal. He had taken everything from me, not just the business we built together, the one I poured my soul into. He took my trust. He shattered it into a million tiny pieces. I watched him on TV accepting an award for my work. His face was all charm, but I saw the monster underneath. The world saw genius. I saw a thief, a ghost who haunted my every waking moment. They say time heals all wounds. They lie. Time just gives you more space to think, to obsess. My apartment became a cave of plans and memories. I traced his face in a picture, my finger cold against the glass. How could I have been so blind? He had used me, my ideas, my passion. Then, when he had what he wanted, he cast me aside like an old toy. City lights blurred through rain-streaked glass, each a tiny fire, fueling my need for justice. My own kind of justice. The wrong he did wasn't about money or fame. It cut to the core of who I was. He made me doubt myself, my own mind. He told everyone I was unstable, that the ideas were his all along. He painted me fragile, broken, and people believed him. Of course they did. He was Leo, the golden boy. I was the girl in the background, the one nobody remembered. But they would remember me. Soon. I would make sure of it. My plan started as a whisper, a tiny thought of payback. Now it was a roar. My hands would shake sometimes, not from fear, but from a strange electric energy. The energy of a storm gathering. I stopped sleeping much. Sleep was for the innocent. My mind was a whirlwind of blueprints, schedules, codes. I learned his routines. I knew when he left for work, when he came home. I knew the name of his doorman, the brand of coffee he drank. I knew him better than he knew himself. And that knowledge was my weapon. I was going to turn on the lights. The annual tech gala was in 2 weeks. It was the perfect stage for his downfall. I spent my days in coffee shops, hidden behind a laptop and a large pair of sunglasses. I hacked into his company's network. It was surprisingly easy. I found the original files, the early drafts, the brainstorming sessions, the digital fingerprints of my creation. He hadn't even bothered to delete them properly. If I was caught, he would ruin me completely. That was his biggest mistake. This wasn't just for me. It was for anyone who had ever been silenced, pushed aside, or stolen from. All I had to do was press a button at the right moment. The anticipation was terrifying and exhilarating. I was finally taking back control. They all orbited Leo, the sun in their universe. His project. My project. My heart was a wild bird trapped in my chest.
To the future.
This was it. No turning back. For a second, nothing happened. Then the screens flickered, an early draft, my notes, my name. The room fell silent, another and another, a slideshow of his deceit, my evidence, my truth. His empire was crumbling in front of his eyes. I just stood there, in the shadows, and watched. The chaos was beautiful, powerless, the confident genius, gone, replaced by a cornered animal. He tried to say it was a technical glitch, a prank, but the evidence on the screens was undeniable. The truth was out. A wave of triumph washed over me. It was done. I had won. I had taken back my story. But my eyes caught something I hadn't put there, a security photo of me. My blood turned to ice, my files, my bank records, my emails, my digital footprints laid bare. The narrative shifted in an instant. They were searching for me. The story was no longer about a thief. It was about a bitter ex-partner. Leo's new chief of operations spoke calmly. They had tracked a planned attack for weeks. They let my attack happen only to expose me after. I wasn't the puppeteer, I was the puppet. I didn't run, I simply walked. I slipped out before security could spot me. The sounds of the gala faded. I left the city for a quiet town by the sea. I hadn't won. I had broken myself, but slowly, in the silence, I found pieces of me again. I started to write my stories. I had given Leo too much power. My real victory was rebuilding myself, far from his shadow. The payback I never saw coming was on myself, but the aftermath was a quiet, unexpected peace.